Good evening, Glenn.
Hi.
Happy February.
Oh, thank you. Yes, we just celebrated our 46th year anniversary
Oh,
of
wow.
since we began dating at high school.
Good for you. That's
Yeah,
congratulations.
46. It sounds dangerously close to 50. It really it puts you up there in years.
I thought you were only like 51 or something.
Oh,
No,
my
years
friend
old.
Marion Matthews. Yeah, she saw the cake with the 46 and she goes, "You can't be 46 yet."
Yeah.
She pretended I wasn't that age.
Oh, good for you guys. That's a testament of true love, I guess, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, my wife and I have.
My parents wouldn't let us get married. We had to wait 12 years.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, wait for school and everything. And he went to college later, but he was working, and yeah, we couldn't swing it before that financially, but we were trying.
Well, hey, that's how it is, right? In the days where parents kind of guided us when we were little, right?
Control, but it worked out in the end. It makes you stronger going through that.
Right. Yep.
So do you have children? Do you have children? I've never.
Yes, I have three kids. Yes, I have 2 girls and a boy.
Nice.
So
So that's why you have such a big house. You needed a big house.
Well, my middle child, my daughter, she's living with us right now because she sold her house in Summers really quickly and couldn't find a place. So she's just with us until she can find a place. So makes it a little more interesting. But
I hear this happens a lot. Yeah, the kids temporarily come back home a lot. My son is permanently here. I've been here his whole life, 31 years. So I don't even know what it's like to have an empty nest.
It's nice.
My daughter flew the coop early. The younger one, very independent, went to Europe her freshman year of college. Yeah, so and then she went to Norway a few months ago for vacation.
Must be nice, right?
Well, my son would be like afraid to go to the next town alone, and she goes to another country, and I'm like freaking out. Put your passport close to your body. Do this. I'm thinking, oh, the worst is going to happen. She's, oh my, nothing happened. She did it.
Yeah.
She grew up.
There's Mr. Fenn.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Hey, good to see you.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Survived the COVID vaccine.
Yes.
Last week, I survived the vaccine. It wasn't easy. I got really sick. I got very sick, but I survived.
Wow.
Oh, I haven't had any trouble. I've been doing the shingles shots. Those can give you a little trouble.
That's what I found. I found those would be harder to deal with, especially you kind of make your arm feel very sore for many days.
Hey,
there we go. Got Maureen. So now we have a quorum. Yay. Sounds good. Okay. Let me just get everybody in here. Okay. So we might as well jump right into it, right? Call the meeting to order. How you doing there, Maureen? All warmed up from this past week? You look like you're bundled up.
I am. I have COVID.
Oh, do you? Oh my God.
No, you're sick now? Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Well, I went this far without getting it. I thought I was immune, but apparently not.
Oh my gosh. And you still made it to our meeting.
Well, yeah, I'm fine. I'm just bundled up. That's why I'm bundled up. I can't get warm.
Okay, well, we'll keep it quick then. So did everybody have a chance to look at the minutes from last month? Anybody have any questions on it? Do I have a motion to
send them out? Did you send them out a few weeks ago?
Yes, I sent them out like I think the next day or something.
Yeah, I probably saw it then.
So do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? If not, then all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Communications and announcements. Anyone have anything they'd like to communicate or announce? I can't say that I did talk with Mr. Williams. It was yesterday. He's unfortunately had another operation, and the good news, I
Oh,
guess,
right.
he's although he's in pain, I think he's doing better. He seems to be doing better with the outcome of this one. But he has mobility issues, so his computer's upstairs, and he really can't get up there yet. I think he was gonna try to do it on his phone, but he hasn't had much luck with that. So that's probably why he's not in attendance tonight. But he did pass on his well wishes to everybody, and hopefully he'll be back in the saddle and be able to get up the stairs to his computer soon. So, and the only other thing I would say that the announcements that I guess it would come under this. I did, if you notice the Our Town, Our Future Facebook page, I did post a couple of things over the last week or so on that. One was the thing that the town put out on the school roof replacement meeting that they have coming up this Saturday, actually, for a public hearing. And then I also did post on, there's been a lot of chatter, as everybody knows, about the text amendment that the developer's making over on the I-84 parcel near the old Ashford Motel. And I did have some information that I did get from the potential developer there. And so I did post that to our Facebook page, just so that get that information out to the community. At least they'd have something that from the developer, that things that they were looking at, or what their thoughts were, and so it'd be at least some information out there ahead of, I guess, I think a week from today, Planning and Zoning is supposedly going to have a public hearing on the text amendments that the developer has proposed for that property. So, but I did want to let you know that I did post that to the Facebook page. I'm trying to keep everything non-political, non-opinionated, but at least use the Our Town, Our Future webpage as a Facebook page, rather, to at least get information out to the community. And if you look at it, I know we've posted a bunch of things from the Art Council and anything else going on. We've tried to post it on other businesses and things. So trying to at least get information out and keep it a viable link. I did try to.
Are you working with Margie Chady on that website, or are you doing this alone?
I think Margaret does have administration rights. I think Dick does too. They posted, because Margaret has posted some stuff on there. So yes, when something comes up, they feel it's worthwhile. There's stuff that's been posted on there, throughout. I don't post. I probably post a third of what's on there, truthfully.
Mike,
yes, go ahead, Ray.
Mike, regarding that I-84 material from from the company itself, I read that. Now, is that a complete version of what they're asking the Board of Planning and Zoning to consider as far as the changes to the regulation?
Well, I mean, if you want the total thing, I would direct you to the Planning and Zoning page on the town web page. That has the full complete package. And I will tell you too, I didn't post this on our Facebook page, but there is a group that has put together a web page called Keep Ashford Rural. That basically it looks like it's a group of residents that are in opposition of any development, or I should say of the proposal of text amendment. And they have a web page that they put together that's out there too. And if you're all interested in it, I can send you that link. But I think the link is just www.keepashrural.com.
That's the report that you and I were discussing, and that gentleman that lives up on Frontage Road. Is that on?
Yes, there's a few things on there, but I mean, that's It's actually a well done web page, you know. That
I didn't see
whoever
the
put it
web,
together.
I saw
Huh?
this guy's letter,
Yep.
but I don't know if I saw it in the, as a web page, so maybe I missed that somewhere along the line.
Yeah, it's a web page. I mean, it's a www dot whatever,
Yeah.
a web page.
But they're not jumping on the changes so much as they're talking about the project that hasn't yet been brought forward.
True.
So they're kind of premature, if I understand the whole arrangement.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, people can read it for themselves, and I think it's, you know, it's probably, I think what happens with a lot of these developments, unfortunately, I think, is that there's a lot of confusion as to what the steps are, what's going on, and really, right at this point, just so everybody's clear, is that I guess the developer has bought basically the rights to the property. I don't think he owns it yet. The owner, original owner, still owns it, but this developer has an option on the properties, and they're put together some proposed text amendments to the zoning regulations, and that is what's before planning and zoning next week. The planning and zoning in their January meeting did accept that application for text amendment, and then if the text amendment is passed, or even if it isn't, the developer still could go forward with an application for site plan for a potential development, and that's when they would detail what they're looking at, you know, the type of building, the type of grading, or what they'd be doing to the property, whatever. So, but I think it's kind of gotten all kind of jumbled up a little bit because people are jumping to the next step a little bit relative to that.
Yeah.
This is what it's going to be, and there isn't any formal application at this point.
There's no project as it stands, is there?
No.
I mean,
I
it
mean,
doesn't.
there's a concept. There's a
It's a
concept.
potential, but it's not
Right.
out there.
Right. I mean,
I
the
thought-
developer has put forth ideas on things and express why they're doing this, but there's no concrete plan that says this is what it's going to be and what it's going to look like and all that. So, go ahead,
Yeah,
Gwen.
the other
Okay,
thing
I got
too,
an email out of the blue 4 days ago, and I do not know who this person is. She wrote, "Hello neighbor, a request is before the Ashford Planning and Zoning Commission to change the wording in our zoning regulations to allow for extremely large scale warehouses and distribution centers," and it goes on and on. And then she's listing all the people you could contact who are on these different boards in town. And then I got another email from her right after that saying, "I just found out it's illegal for me to email people on these commissions. So, sorry I did that." And I just said, maybe you want to, because we're looking for more people, new people, maybe you want to come to our town, our future. Voice your opinion here, but I don't have a formal invite of telling them, maybe you have some kind of little write-up that if somebody was interested, we could just say, this is what we do. This is whatever. Do you think that would be an okay thing to do?
For what? To ask somebody? I mean, we're always looking for people. I think certainly if there's somebody or you think there'd be somebody that'd be an asset to this group, then sure, invite them to come to a meeting, see if they want to join.
Okay. So the best thing is to tell them the day and time, or give them a link.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
is this woman, this person you're talking about is in opposition, I take it, to this particular effort before the planning?
It sounds like that from this note, but it just came out and I don't even know who she is.
Well, she's obviously aggressive, and that would be a perfect candidate for our town, our future.
Right.
Mike, wasn't
Nicely, though. It
Bill
was nice.
Folletti supposed to provide some stuff for the town? The last time I remember him talking about this particular project in its very early stages as potential, he was going to, make sure that the public was well informed. Is he kind of backed off on that, or is he doing something that I'm not aware of, or we're not aware of?
Well, I think I think the information that I got basically was an initiative from him with the developer to get some information out. So I think I would say that he he kind of led the getting some information, that PowerPoint from the developer.
Yeah, but who's getting it? I mean, it's nice
well,
to have it, but the public is obviously
I
beginning
think
to rile.
all I can tell you is that he's working through how he can get that on the town website, whatever, whether they truthfully, we've got it out on our Town, Our Future Facebook page. I did, if you, I belong to that Ashford Community Connection Facebook
Oh,
page, and
yeah.
there was people
Oh,
already
you mean
so there were people out there already putting stuff out that didn't have any information. So I responded and gave them the link to that developer's PowerPoint as well. So I've at least been able to get some information out to people that are talking
that's
about
where
it.
it belongs.
Yeah. So, but I will tell you that I know Bill is trying to talk with, make sure that he does everything the right way, and before he could do it, he's got to obviously talk with the town attorney, make sure he has the right place he can put it. So, and then to be, what will also happen, I mean, obviously, I think that developer may use that PowerPoint with next week at their, with planning and zoning. So once it's given to planning and zoning, then it'll become part of the record, and planning and zoning can put it out there. I mean, it's a tough one, how do you, what's the form? And I mean, I think,
Well, it's just that he seemed so positive that he felt that the information was a critical issue,
right.
in this whole thing. And quite frankly, is it usually in this town, information is available, but people start forming their opinion without any information,
Right.
and if they know that their information is going to be reversed, or if you will, they don't want to know. Once you make your point, you really don't want to back off and say I was wrong.
I know. Well, I mean, that's the problem. I mean, is that I think the developer has to follow the process that's laid out. I mean, their avenue for putting stuff out there is, what is it? I mean, taking out of, and we don't really have a forum other than our Town of Future where I put it out. Okay. And there's that community one, but you have to be a member of that to post stuff. I will tell you, I tried to get it out there even further with the Our Town, Our Future to boost the post. We've done that before on a number of different things.
Yeah.
And I boosted it, put it in a boost, and it got rejected by Facebook police. They said I was circumventing advertising. I'm going like, well, so I put in a request for them to review it again, but I was just trying to at least get it out there for more people. It's just for consumption, for whatever use. It's information. It's from the developer, so it's the developer's perspective on what they're trying to do. And certainly whether you're for this potential text amendment or against it, at least you should have that information available to you, hopefully before the meeting. And that was trying to the intent. And I know, like I said, Bill is trying to see whether he can get it out there through official town channels before the meeting as well, but he hasn't been able to get a word back from the town attorney on it yet.
Well,
That's
I don't know who
the information that I have.
that's a kind of critical there. The town attorney hasn't gotten back to him yet for the amount of money that we pay a town attorney or any attorney. That's a pretty damn weak excuse. Most attorneys need a good kick.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know any of the specifics. I'm just saying that I know that's not a reflection on you, but it's critical that people get the right information in the right form. And Right.
It's critical that the first selectman or people at least in the upper part of this town's government to get it out there.
Well, he's
working on it isn't good enough, Mike. I'm just being nasty as usual. But that's a crock from an old dude like me. It's too important. The people's opinions could sink this thing. And you're telling me, and I tend to agree with you, that this has a direct impact, on the development within the town, and it could turn out to be a very positive thing if it's handled correctly. That being the case, for 4,300 citizens, it's important to grab the doggone lawyer by the throat, pour his house of breath in his mouth, and tell him to get the letter out. How's
Well, I
that
think-
for getting rampant?
Well, I think, I think Bill may only have gotten the PowerPoint like Friday or either Thursday afternoon or Friday. I think the town hall is closed on Thursday, so, I don't know if he got it Friday morning, you got it Friday morning. So, I mean, it's probably been only like technically one business day since he got it, so.
Well, his original connection with us was very, very positive. It was refreshing, quite frankly. If it's, if the ball is dropped for any reason, I find that to be a sad case.
Well, he's not, I can assure you, he's trying to be on top of it. He's trying to work through it, Ray, we all know how it is when you rely on others. Sometimes it does, the clock ticks and, a day or two goes by, it's,
Well,
I can
I don't-
assure you that he understands exactly what you're saying.
making that particular PowerPoint as an information source, a part of the town's website, shouldn't even have to go through an attorney. There's no bloody reason for it. It's a CYA effort on the part of anybody in town to have the attorney, pass on it. But because of its importance and the issue's important, I would say, full steam ahead. But anyways, I'll be quiet and I'll let you go on with your meeting.
Oh, you don't have to be quiet, but I'm just saying that part of it is it's another board and commission that actually the one will be deliberating on this issue. So, I mean, he, obviously he doesn't want to circumvent, or he shouldn't, I don't know if he can't, obviously circumvent with information thing. I'm saying that there's a process, whether we like it or not, that's built within the system of government that we have, and you want to make sure that you follow it and don't screw it up for somebody else. So and that's kind of why I took the route of putting it on our town, our future, and then put it on the community one, so at least we start getting it out to the community. And you know how things are, some of that stuff, it goes like wildfire. Once you get it out one place, it just everybody shares it. So hopefully, the people that probably are that really want to look and know that stuff up front are the ones that have gotten the information, at least
This
yeah, there
this
you
is
go.
the Keep Ashford Rural. That's the thing, the link that this woman sent.
Yes,
And
that's
they
what.
have the town
Did
hall
you get
link
that,
to it.
Maureen? Have you seen that, Maureen?
No, I'll look it up though. Yeah.
I wonder if that woman went through her lawyer.
Doesn't have to. The private webpage. So anyhow, that's the story there. So just want to at least let you know what was going on from the Our Town, Our Future Facebook page. Project updates. Anybody have any other project updates that you want to share? Or,
I'm not sure what projects we've got rolling.
I mean, I can tell you that I mean all the stuff with the RSA. I mean, with the road stuff. I mean, there's been a big grant for the I think the Build America Back Here Better program. There's a lot of money that's flowed to Connecticut. NECOG did get some, but I don't know if any of it's going to flow to Ashford. There's a lot of grants out there right now, which I feel like like I don't know if we'll get an opportunity to get in on any of them right in the near term, just because all the roads are kind of in DOT's control, and I think there's been a little bit of frustration as far as the responsiveness to looking at some of the things that we'd requested. I know Bill has been trying to work with them on a couple of different things, and I didn't ask him what the latest is with DOT on some of these things, but I do know that that we'll continue to work at those things to see where they land.
Do we have a list of the items that we want them to work on? Do we know what they are?
Yeah, I mean, it was the RSA stuff on Route 44, 74 corridor. There was some additional they were supposed to take another safety look at the intersection of 44 and 74 there. They made some slight improvements there. I think there was some additional work that DOT communicated to the first selectman that they were going to take a look at there, but I haven't heard back what specifically and timelines and things like that. But and then the other was the school zone issue.
saying we've kind of pushed this a little bit, I would think that within our scope, we ought to have specific bullet points as to what is being done, either by some organization within the town or DOT. But I think in order for us to know what the updates are, we need to know what it needs to be updated. Right now, quite frankly, I probably should know this, but I haven't got a bloody clue as to, what it is the state is dragging their heels on or not, or what Bill is doing.
Agreed. I'd like to see a traffic light there, but I heard we can't get that. It's too expensive. That maybe there'll be a rotary. And you can see what it's like in Stafford Springs with 2 rotaries in the main part of town.
Well, I don't even know that. I know that there are issues, if you will, at one time for parking near Cumberland. There were some signs put up. I don't know if that's the end of it. I know that there was an entrance issue with Cumberland that was supposed to be discussed, and that nothing has happened there. It's still as
Right.
dangerous. In fact, people still get hurt.
Well, there's an entrance and an exit. Is that new over a few years ago?
No, it's
No.
a sightline issue.
It's a sightline issue and a
Oh.
notification of drivers coming down the hill. You do not know where the entrance to Cumberland is. If you miss it, you go in the exit.
Right.
It is a planning and zoning screw up, because when they had Cumberland by the proverbials, they should have taken care of the situation. They did not. That's known as lack of expertise, in my
No,
opinion.
The
But
way
the other
that
thing
was-
is, you still have issues as far as simple things like stop signs. I think we discussed the possibility of requesting that certain businesses have stop signs when they are going into a busy intersection in their parking area. And that never happened. I'm thinking, for an example, down where the post office is. The idea of having some type of a warning rather than just pulling out. That happens in other places, but it doesn't happen in Ashford. I
Okay,
don't,
Ray,
we ought to have a list of those items that we're asking DOT to work on.
Ray, what
Don't.
could have been done with Cumberland if they started at the beginning? Isn't the topography the issue? I mean, how could they have
No.
made it better?
No, they could have made it better by requiring that entrance into the parking lot have an adequate amount of signage and clear sightline. It does not. When you come down the hill, you do not see that entrance. It comes upon you unless you're a local and you understand where the entrance is at Cumberland.
So we need bigger signage, more signage. You think that?
We don't
would
have
solve-
any.
Oh, no.
So,
Oh, yes.
just for the record here, the point of clarification that the ultimate configuration of the driveways was really the DOT, Department of Transportation, state is the ones that finalized and made it the way it was. It's not what planning and zoning had
Okay.
recommended.
I stand
So-
corrected.
So there is a list. If you want, I can find the emails. We've had the same kind of items, and you've kind of touched upon a few of them, Ray. But they took care of the signage across from so the trucks weren't parking across the street. There's the other issue was the crosswalk. The other thing was the sight line for the entranceway there to Cumberland Farms. Okay, there's some simple things that minimum things that could be done just by clearing trees along there that could improve sight
Absolutely.
line. They looked. I think they took care of the signage at the church for the park and ride. Then the other issue was really the big issue, truthfully, that's out there was requesting DOT to do basically a traffic study for that whole corridor from Route 89 up to the 74 intersection, so that they could evaluate, all kinds of things that would include sightlines, topography, speed. That was another thing, whether it was appropriate speed, and all that. So and signage would be included in all that. So yeah, so that's basically the list that's been given to DOT a couple of times. I know I transmitted it. I think the various first selectmen have too. They were working through our state representatives at sometimes, and it hasn't really gotten to a point where it's where it could be, so.
Well, your agenda says project updates.
Right.
And this particular project, you have certain things that are completed. We should have a list, okay, that is constantly thrown out there, whether it's, you know, a repeat of something you've already done, and I'm sure you've done this, Mike. But with that thing should, if you consider it as a project that's worthwhile, and I do, and I know you do, it should come up and we should hammer away at it. And at the end of every time, every moment we look at an update, we probably should go back either to DOT or somebody and poke them. I mean, you don't get anything done in life unless you poke people. And unfortunately, we've got two people to poke. One is Mr. Folletti, the other is Department of Transportation.
And
In
unfortunately,
particular, these things are safety issues. That's the bigger problem.
and I will tell you personally, I've poked a number of different people at DOT, but it's not.
I know you're a good poker, Mike.
Yeah, and I know that Mr. Folletti has as well. They've engaged our state representatives, and it just is not, unfortunately, for a variety of reasons, or not necessarily good reasons, it hasn't come to fruition yet. So, so it's ongoing. And I can give you this. You know, I can specify the detail of these things if you'd like, in the future.
Well, if you can tell me if you sent me an email and I should have it, then you tell me what it is. I don't want you to work any harder than you do already. But
I'm sweating.
but yeah, but the thing says project updates, and I'm just telling you, in my stupidity or in my advanced years, I don't know what bloody project you're talking about.
Okay, I'll give you a project update.
Go ahead,
Tremco Trail, I believe, is completed, and I know that I heard the kiosk went up, a new kiosk.
Which
Like we
one?
did it like
Whoa. What trail? Give me where?
by the senior center.
Got it. Okay. The one I went on originally and broke a leg. No, I
Supposed
scared
to be
the
a
hell.
warning there that it's a moderate trail, so that
I
people
know.
from the senior home who are not in good condition should not attempt it.
Yeah, well, I scared the hell out of Loretta. I can remember that. Anyways, that is up and running.
There's a
Correct.
project update. We got something done.
Yay.
I give you another project update.
There we go.
The old Ashford Arts Council, they're obviously now called the Ashford Area Arts. Both Deb Gagg and Catherine, that's their last name, they're going to be stepping down. And I don't know if you know Nancy Bennell, she's going to be taking over as chair of the Ashford Area Arts. Their next meeting is this Wednesday at 7 o'clock via Zoom if you're interested in attending. But what they're trying to do is get enough people into place where they can basically be their own 501(c)(3) there. They're still part of the Wyndham Arts Council, but they have to have certain things in place. And they have a long litany of things they have to have. They basically have to have like a board of directors and what have you before they could actually move forward with that. So they're working on that, but they're looking for new members, and it's like anything else. I mean, they've got a wonderful agenda of monthly meetings and guest artists that come and give different talks and things. So I mean, they're still doing great work. It's just that they're trying to get to that next levels. But
so it's not it's just regional. It's not just Ashford.
Well, I mean, they've changed their name because I think they're trying to broaden their perspective and get me more members involved. I'm assuming that's why it is, but they're still part of
the more of a tax issue, isn't it, Mike? As opposed to they're affiliated, if you will, with Wyndham for purely for the charitable status that they're trying to enjoy.
Right. But they're trying to become their own entity. And it's something they've been working on for, frankly, since day one. But it's a process, and it's a little more complicated than people must realize. So that's an update there on an old project. But that's basically all I have on that. Anybody else? New member recruitment. I think Glenn, thank you for thinking you might find somebody. If there's anybody
I'll
else,
ask that woman if she wants to come to
sure,
give her the date,
sure,
the time of the meeting.
sure. Under new business, spring leadership meeting, time is flying off the calendar here really quickly. And I know there's so many things swirling here, but I think the intent was still to have a spring meeting. I don't know if Jeff's gonna have his, so it's just Silversmith is gonna have his hands full with this latest project that's coming for them, but
Now, is that in April, Mike?
we haven't set a date when we were gonna do it.
But the
you know,
month was April? Was it?
The-
I thought we had a
nobody
general.
actually set a date.
Oh.
I think, anywhere from, March through, I think June 21st is when summer starts, right?
Yeah,
So it could be in June.
In June, maybe May is better.
Yeah, it's just about, as long as it's after the budget, it seems like everybody's kind of focused on the budget. And I think that's usually the first or second week in May. So I would say between probably the middle of May to the middle of June would be the target date. But I'll circle back with Jeff at some point here in the next, later this month, I think, after this hearing he has next week. And I'll talk with Bill Folletti too. But yeah, any thoughts on that? Anybody? Okay, the monthly citizen updates. I think the last time we talked, I don't know if you saw the one that came out here, but I did get an article in there. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions. I tried to take what everybody gave me for feedback on that article and blend it in there. So
no problem.
thank you, Ray and Maureen, and I think Gwen. I don't know if you sent me something, but if you did, I tried to put a little bit of everybody's in there, and I think it was great because you kind of gave it a nicer, fuller perspective. So, but we did post that information to the town website for record keeping as well. And but I think we talked about, I don't know if you guys still think we should do it, is highlighting every month, like one of the more of what happened in that meeting. You think that's still a good idea? Or should we start with the next or the 5 topics that were raised, or what do you guys think?
Well, I think it keeps it in the public's mind that it did exist, and that it did have something to say. Let's just make the assumption that a good portion of people read the Ashford Citizen.
Mm-hmm.
So why not? We don't have to. We don't have to turn out a great, amount of information. But I think a little highlight would be worthwhile.
So would you suggest take like the next, I think the next number 1 on the list of topics was the, what was it? It was how to increase tax base and find other sources of revenue to reduce Medicaid. That's a great timing on that one, huh?
Mike, actually, that's not a bad deal. That would work out very well, and I'll tell you why. When we did the open space plan for conservation, as well as the plan of conservation development itself, one of the key things we talked about was where to put commercial effort. And we made these zones, if you will. We didn't do it in the plan of conservation, open space plan, but the open space plan did set a principle that if you put commercial effort in a selected area, then open space can kind of take care of itself because it doesn't have competition of spotting commercial efforts all through the town. And that's pretty much what you're talking about with this particular project up on 84. And you could set that up even without mentioning it, because you could show the principle of that and how effective it could be. And you could put that into the article that you write for the Citizen.
Yeah, I write for the Citizen. I think it's your turn, Ray.
Well, no, we can all scribble. I mean, we don't all have to go down to, as individuals. But I'm just saying that it would now, you don't have to be, how do I put it? You don't have to be, preaching that particular issue, but you could bring that situation up so that people could see that it has validity. In a small town like this, if you spew commercial effort throughout the town, ultimately, at some point in time, you will destroy your infamous rural character. Because now you will destroy it, just the same as, having a large residential applications tends to break up properties and areas. Commercial efforts are even worse. But we have West Ashford, which was defined as a commercial area, and the wagon shed, which is potentially, a light industry, could be, as it was brought up, and the I-84 section, which is now, of course, in the public eye and people are discussing it itself. Those are three areas in town that were defined as potentially having non-residential applications, let me put it that way. And because they're defined areas, and because, in fact, West Ashford is already a largely commercial area, then it doesn't disturb, if you will, the bucolic areas, farmlands, and other forested areas, that are in the town, because they represent only a very small percentage of land mass. Well, I think the guys in that report that you showed, Michael, he said something about, what was it, 0.12% of the land mass of Ashford that I-84 acreage represents. The whole point of putting commercial efforts in defined areas is to allow the town's rural character to flourish, without being affected. So anyways, you could put that theory, if you will, into that article if you wanted to, as one of the ways in which to improve the town's tax base.
Well, I think if we go back to the last leadership meeting, the breakout groups, the group that handled that, how to increase the tax base and find other sources of revenue group, they had a whole list of things that included some of that, Ray, in a roundabout way, or not a roundabout way, but they basically said how to increase the tax base, expand use list and zoning, and examine revision of existing uses. So I think if we keep to the script of what was brought up at that meeting for the updates in the Citizen, I think we can kind of identify, expand upon what that group had talked about that evening. I know you weren't there, and I don't know, Maureen or Gwen, were you either one of you on a part of that group?
I wish I was. I was in note 5, and that one was a losing battle. Get the young people.
Yeah.
Start serving on committees.
What one were you? Do you remember what you were on, Maureen?
I'm thinking here. Maybe I was on that. I can't remember. I kind of sat on the how to protect and preserve the environment, history, and rural character. And the irony is that particular one we did talk about where to do that, to put economic development in places where it didn't impact the parts of town that you want to preserve. So because we said sometimes conflict between environment and development. Let's see, the rural appearance is also impacted by, okay, I'm trying to see what else we had here. I was on the housing thing, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Affordable housing. Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. So, anyhow, yeah, I think, we also, can the town establish those, never mind, I'm trying to read out loud here. But anyhow, yeah, to raise point. Yep. So what do we want to do here for this next article? We want to focus on that one, or do we, to start with, as the next?
Whatever you suggest. But
I was going to go right down the list.
Well, people are going to be really interested in the Cadle Rock, and right now people are really interested in this whole thing. And it's a Zoom meeting 1 week from today, and so hopefully we got the word got out in the Citizen about that.
Just, I probably should, I don't know if you're all aware of it, but the Cattle Rock, the grant that the town put in for a master plan and the last phase of remediation was turned down by the state. They didn't get the grant. So we have to wait for that. So I mean, that project is probably a little more long-term, but I mean, which is unfortunate. I know that, there was some money in the latest, funding of that ARA money, that ARPA money that the town had set aside for some potential work there. And I don't know what the board of selectmen are going to do with that money, where they would move forward with some scaled back version of starting the master plan, with the thought that maybe they'd get the grant this year, reapply for it. But yeah, I mean, that project is kind of gonna.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that update. Thank you, Mike.
Yep. So anyhow, yeah. So I mean, okay. So why don't we? Let me get back to my full screen here.
Mike, are you saying that you're, as far as these 5 topics are concerned, you would be more interested in pretty much parroting what and for the entire dissertation, if you will, what came out of the meeting, and going very, very light on any kind of teaching function that we might want to put into the citizen article?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but I don't, the one thing I think we want to be careful in, and that we're not preaching something beyond what we've gathered. I mean, we're facilitators of sorts. I mean, I have my own opinions, and I will express my own opinions on next Monday night. But I don't know as if, the forum that the Our Town, Our Future forum is to do that. We're supposed to be kind of what, I don't want to say neutral is the word, but we want to facilitate the greater needs of all citizens, not just our opinions. And so
I know that.
I think, but to your point, I mean, certainly within the context of what was presented, and if you look at the list of the notes that I took, and they were only my notes, so nobody else, I mean, anybody else who was there might have a different perspective, but there's certainly stuff that could be woven in there about the filling in the blank, so to speak, Ray. I just think that we have to be careful that we don't, we're not,
I'm not talking about taking the idea of functions away from what was gleaned in that meeting. I'm not saying throw those away and replace them. I'm saying probably, use them along with existing, documents in town, as more in the sense of information.
Yeah.
To the public in general. I mean, if somebody is saying, well, I want to reduce taxes. Well, one way to reduce taxes is to take the 7% commercial part of the budget and increase it and reduce the residential part of the budget. If that's not a matter of that's just common sense.
Right.
But to show and blend some of the things some of the documentation that exists in the town specifically on that subject, which is the open space plan and the plan of conservation and development, into their suggestions. I don't see that as preaching. I see that as giving support for what they said.
Yeah. No, if we could do that in a way that we've non-politicized it, so to speak, I mean, like I said, I'm part of these groups because I have I want town to be a good place to live and grow and all that jazz. But I understand the fine line of not making this. I don't want anybody to look at Our Town, Our Future and say they're a politicized group that's really got a hidden agenda, so I think we can do. Why don't we take a stab at it? I understand what you're saying. I agree. There should be some,
linkage
added to, because when we all broke out that night, we didn't have a lot of time to talk about the depth and the detail and all the other stuff that kind of fills in the blank. So within the context of the notes that I took, there's some liberty to basically bring in the plan of conservation development, the open space plan, and other zoning regulation stuff to answer and to educate people. I think the education part of it along with that would be a positive thing. What do you think, Maureen and Gwen?
I think that's a really good time to educate people, as long as we're not being political, because people need to have the facts if they're going to go forward with their opinion. And I think it fits in really well.
Yep. How about you, Gwen?
I love the education part at the beginning, and we all went around the room and told their interests. But in my breakout group, it would really, you couldn't really do anything. You couldn't really educate because it was just like everybody's working this many jobs and they have kids and they can't, you can't get more people to serve except in this certain age group.
Yep.
Well,
So I'm talking about this specific thing about the idea of taking the number one, the first topic that was discussed about the tax burden issue, and how do you increase the tax revenues.
That is a great topic, yeah.
And then and as Ray is suggesting that, so we just add some more of the facts between what's out there for how you go about that, whatever. So one thing, what do you want to do? Somebody want to take a stab at that? You want me to draft up something, Ray, and then send it out to you guys and add to it?
Sounds
you
good.
do
What do you
it
want to do? Or do you want to
anyway.
do it? Or somebody want to take the lead on this one?
Go forth,
No,
Mike.
I don't really want to do it. Do you want to do it? Ray, could you do it? And since you seem to have a good idea of what your thoughts are, and then
Well,
send
what
it
I-
out to the rest of us.
Now,
We
you
don't have
sent
much
me,
time though. Here's the
Pardon?
thing. We have to have this to Karen, Zulik, and Sherry by the 19th of this month. So that's 13 days from today.
now, the comments that you got, you've given those to us. I should
Yeah,
find
I'll send them back. Yeah, I can send them to you again if you'd like.
Because I have a file online that I keep everything from Our Town, Our Future. And I honestly don't remember getting that, but
Yep.
I may be wrong, because
Yeah, I sent that
I'm
out.
usually wrong.
You got it twice because I sent it out to you guys as a draft, and then I sent it out to everybody
then
who's in attendance.
If I don't, put it this way, if I don't find it, I'll come back at you.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll make it simple after this meeting. I'll send it out to you all again. The one.
What will be the subject? What's your subject line? So we'll find it.
Oh, yeah, you're
No.
asking. I think it was the November leadership meeting
Notes,
notes.
aren't they? Notes
Yep.
for, yeah.
You don't have an Our Town, Our Future, like OTOF, because that's how when I do a search, that's how I'm searching. So I'm missing stuff.
When you get an email from Mike, where do you put it?
Trash.
No, I don't. I have like 60,000 emails it gets buried in.
Oh,
I'm-
you don't
and
put
I'm
it in a
working-
file.
And I'm working 6 days a week. So when I go to look at my stuff, so I have to go and search. And then
No, you don't put it in a file.
I put it Our
I-
Town, Our Future as I search for that. And then that's how I find the
Oh.
link to this meeting.
No, you have an Our Town, Our Future file on your email. It works
I
like
would
a
have-
charm.
I have like 20 of those already for all these other committees. I just have so many.
So I'll just
I don't-
send this out to you guys after this, and
Okay, I'm sure
you'll have
I've
one
got it,
more
Mike.
copy.
Well.
So what else? Okay, so we'll do that. We got to do that post haste. So when can you get us back a draft, Ray? End of the week?
Yeah, geez.
Oh yeah, it's
Okay.
due next.
We'll
Next
meet the
week.
deadline, Michael.
Huh?
How's that?
You'll beat the
Oh.
deadline like you did. You
Oh,
did the last.
No, we will
Oh.
meet the deadline. I'll get it, now that you snockered me with it, I'll get right on it.
We're passing around the opportunity here.
That's what it is.
Because Maureen and Gwen will have their shot at this too. The next, because remember, there's five topics, so we're only
There
on
you go.
topic one.
Yeah,
I'm not retired yet.
Uh,
yeah.
Hey, you guys have more time.
but when you're retired, you don't have as much time as you think. Crazy. Okay, so move on. Any other input from the public? No member input? Anything else anybody wants to add or say? Well, then we're hoping you're feeling better, Maureen. Jeez.
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
How long have you had it?
I just tested positive today.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my gosh. Do you have a fever?
No, it's just my throat that really hurts. a really sore throat.
Sorry to
Are
hear
you
that.
gonna go take the actual oral medicine that they
I-
have for it?
I have an appointment with my doctor tomorrow. See what he says.
Yeah,
I
because they
I
say
had
that
to
works.
take it. I had to take it and it really worked because I have asthma. And it's makes it so much milder, but it sounds like you're not that sick yet. But I mean, I had this really bad fever, and if you start to have breathing problems, you want to take this medicine before it gets to that stage.
Yeah,
Well, good luck.
I have an appointment tomorrow morning, so that's good.
Good. Okay.
Good.
Any other thoughts? Raymond, you think you were gonna say
No,
something?
I'll be quiet.
No. Love hearing you know, I'm gonna be going to bed in like a half hour. You'd be like the last thing I heard here, it seems. Nightmares of nightmares.
Oh, God.
Any other thoughts, anybody? No?
No,
Okay.
I think we're all.
Okay.
So Mike, we're gonna see you guys in a week at this hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I plan on attending.
It's
So,
Zoom, so you couldn't even go if you're not feeling well.
okay,
Sounds-
well, hey,
sounds
thank you,
important.
everybody, for being here tonight, and keep smiling. Hope you're feeling better there, Maureen.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, good luck.
Yeah.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Take
Good night,
care.
everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Night.